All right. Oklahoma Governor Republican Kevin Stitt signed into law a bill that protects drivers who accidentally hit protesters as they're running away from riots. What are your thoughts on this license to kill protesters, Robbie Rock?
This is coming from the same guy whose first law he signed after taking office allowed anyone in Oklahoma over the age of 21 to carry a firearm without obtaining a permit or completing any training. So,
Lizzie?
I think these people need to go back and read that. They always like to, laud the First Amendment. They need to go back and read the First Amendment. They read what it says about our rights to peacefully protest and assemble in this country.
Jose?
The neurotic pursuit of sanity is driving us all crazy. Honestly, what the legislation does not define the circumstances that make it necessary to flee the scene of a protest. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to start protesting. I hit someone. Sorry, I was, running away. Bye.
Yes. Bullshit. Yeah, so I want to know where the bills accidentally run over the lawmakers making these stupid ass bills. That's what I want to know where those laws are. But so
I
the bill.
feel like there's better things out there to be bringing forth to the Senate, to the table, to fight for. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So let me give you a little background. So the bill actually says it grants civil and criminal immunity for drivers who unintentionally harm or kill protesters while fleeing from a riot, as long as there is reasonable belief that fleeing was necessary. So it should be noted the word unintentional and what constitutes a riot are not
So,
well defined in this law.
so fleeing, who's fleeing in this instance?
No, so
Is it
supposedly the driver is fleeing.
the motorist is fleeing a riot. And not like Neil was saying, the caveat is that a riot isn't clearly defined. So it opens the door for people to really abuse this if they're in a state of panic, if they feel that they were endangered, if they even make that claim, then they have a legal basis for defense.
Supposedly.
It's a slippery slope, and there's been similar
so
legislation passed in other states, including Florida.
So basically, it's the same as law enforcement officers saying that they have a right to shoot down Black people because they were in fear of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Even though folks have their hands up saying, "Ah, don't shoot, don't shoot." Well, I thought his cell phone was a gun. Let me gun him down. So I was fleeing. I was in fear for my life.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there any point to this? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is the point? I mean, I get we want to be able
I,
to run over protesters,
I,
prevent
I
protests.
can
I think
appreciate that
this is
some of the
conviction.
constituents, some of the constituents absolutely came forward with this, saying, "Hey, we feel threatened, we feel scared by this, and this is okay. Well, here we're going to protect you with this law." I mean, but these are all false claims. If you feel threatened, if you feel like you don't want to be around these protests or rallies, don't take your car out. Just get out.
Yep.
And also, I mean, how many instances have we seen where someone was fleeing in their car for their safety and they accidentally ran over someone during a protest and
Virginia.
killed them?
Thank you.
Virginia.
Most of the instances that we've seen have been done on purpose. People are
Yes.
purposely
But that's the whole
riding into
thing. That's why
protesters.
the word unintentional is not well defined. Because if I want to, if like we did in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the guy ran over a protester, he could easily argue, "Hey, I was scared, I was fearing my life, so I decided to run down this protester, this young lady,
Or I was
This goes
fleeing, and
hand
unfortunately, this person was in the way.
and he's
Right?
immune.
That's
He
exactly
gets
the
immunity
defense.
for
Yeah.
that."
As we're
Let me say,
discussing this goes hand in hand with Kyle Rittenhouse running around the streets with his gun because he was scared.
Yep.
if his little ass had stayed at home where he was supposed to be and not in Minnesota
Yeah.
underage illegally with a gun, he would have had nothing to be afraid of.
Yep.
Nothing to be
Right?
afraid of.
No
Right?
doubt.
But I bet you that if the tides were turned, if the tables were turned, and this was someone in a car who was leaning more towards the left and they ran into a group of Proud Boys because they were fleeing, or they ran into a group of Trump
Mm-hmm.
supporters
Whoa.
because they were, and they happened to kill people, this would not fly.
Nope.
This would not be, oh, well, let's, grant them, immunity. We're not going to charge them with murder. So clearly this is against a law that is geared towards a certain group of people in this country.
Yep. So just redefine the word unintentional.
Mike Winter just posted a comment that really makes sense. It is purposely not well defined for these idiots to be able to get off, to be able to build a defense. Yeah.
Exactly. What were you going to say, Jose?
Oh, no. I was just agreeing with what Lizzie was saying, and that's all.
Okay. Well, I agree with what Lizzie was saying as well. So, all right, if you've never been to TLS before, let me tell you a bit about us. Our hosts and guests share their truths and opinions with you, call out those lies, and point out any ridiculous shenanigans going on. And on our show, we always try to have some fun with some shenanigans of our own. You can join in the conversation live every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, or listen to the podcast anytime on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts. All right, now it's time for Hot Topics.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Every show, our hosts bring you. Looks like we have some problems going on here. All right, so every show, our hosts bring you hot topics